Hi everyone, this is Madhav and I'm quickly going to show you step by step how do you visualize the network of any blockchain transaction that you want. The software we're going to use to do this, it's Gephi, and I'm going to quickly show you an example of what you might create with this. So this is what we're going to be working towards. Over here, I visualized this morning. We have this blockchain. It's kind of cool. It's a specific token. So you have different people. That's what each of the dots represents. And the links are the money that they send to each other in this specific token. So we're going to make, and you're going to make something like this. So let's get started. The software we're going to use for this is called Gephi, Gephi, Gephi. You can go to their website, gephi.org, and you can download Gephi, and you can click this button, download Gephi. It'll be in English for you, so that'll be easier. When you download it, you're gonna get a file. Just press install. It's gonna say publisher unknown. Don't worry about it. Just install it. However, when you have everything, set up, and you try to run Gephi, then it's probably going to give you an error because you likely don't have Java installed. So for Gephi, you also need to have Java. So just, go download Java while that Gephi is downloading again. So again, I'm going to download Java for Windows. Again, you see this button. Site doesn't look very nice. Don't worry, it's Java. They're not going to hack you. So you can download Java too. Again, you'll get something, a file downloaded, open the file, it'll run you through an installer, and then you're going to be done installing everything you need to install. So download Java and download Gephi. Once you've done that, there's just one step you need to do, which is tell Gephi, where is Java? So you're going to go over to your file explorer, and you're going to need to go to Windows and your program files. So your C drive and then your program files. And in here, you'll see Gephi. Again, that was the C drive, program files, and then Gephi. Then go to etc, and you'll see this one file called gephi.conf.conf. I understand it's a bit not the best onboarding process, but everything else is easier from here. What you want to do is click on open with for this gephi.conf file, and then you can click more apps and then find your notepad. So you do that and you'll get some nonsense. Don't worry about it. The other thing you need to do is go back to your C drive. Again, C drive, program files x86, then go to Java, and this is where after you've installed Java, this is where Java will be. So just keep on going. It's going to say JRE something something something. You can double click here and just copy the Java location. That's what this is. Where is Java located? And over here, you'll see this thing. It's going to look like this originally. JDK home is equal to some random thing here. So what you want to do is delete this hashtag and then paste in your JDK path. So just paste in what you copied from over here. And then you can, of course, save this file, close it, and there you go. Okay, all the installation is done. So you don't need to worry about that anymore. Yay. You can test it out by opening Gephi. So when you open it, if it doesn't give you an error, congratulations, you did everything fine. and it'll open up and do its thing. So now let's leave everything for a little bit. We're going to get the data that you need for your network. Again, it's going to be a cryptocurrency network. It's going to be token transactions. You can get it from a site called Etherscan. So just, search up Ether and then scan. You're going to get etherscan.io. When you go to their site, on the top, it's going to say tokens and ERC20 top tokens. So if you want, I'll leave the URL for you, etherscan.io/tokens. Now, these are all different networks. They're different cryptocurrencies being traded, different tokens being sent to each other. We want to get a network that's not, 4.5 million people big. So what you want to do is click on holders and then click again. So now you get the smallest tokens, they have 30 people, 40 people, so on. I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna choose something that has 239 people. Try to get something that has under 300 people, and that way Gephi will be pretty fast. When you open up, this is a crypto, it's a token. It's being sent to by, certain people to certain other people. I don't particularly like this particular token, so I'll choose another. Let's go with this one. So you can scroll down here and you will see, okay, it's sent from this one person to this other person, and so on and so on. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see like this little link that says CSV exports. That's what we want. We want to just, get the data from this token. We want to get all of these transactions, who's sending each other how much money, so that we can plot that in Gephi. So what you want to do is just go to the last page and you'll see, okay, so the earliest dates, that the transaction started, and you can go and see, okay, 2020, 12/15. So just make sure that you grab like all of the transactions since that earliest start date. I'm gonna October. Okay, I'm good. Click on I am not a robot, so it'll be in English for you. And then you can download all the data you need. So now we've gotten the software set up, we've gotten the data we need. We just need to mess around with the data a little bit, and then we can get started with actually getting the visualization done. So what you'll want to do is go to either Excel or Google Sheets. So you can go press in sheets.new. That will open up a new Google Sheets. That's a URL I can also leave if you want. When you're in Google Sheets, then go to File, and then under File, you want to click Open, and then open up the file that you just downloaded from etherscan.io. Oops, that was the wrong one. Open, upload, select a file. All right, where were we? Here we are. Open a file, upload it, the file that you just downloaded from Etherscan. And when you actually open it up, it'll look really messy. Don't worry too much. So we can delete most of this stuff, okay? Here's how we do it. All of these columns that you see, tx hash, block no, Unix time, date time, we don't need any of that. The only columns that we need are from, to, and quantity. Who sent the money, who received the money, and how much did they send or receive. So I'm going to take all of these other columns. I'm going to click on their header row. I'm just going to right click and delete. By the way, I'm holding Shift and then clicking on multiple columns so that I can select them all at the same time. So Shift, click on these header rows, right click and delete. And this is the main data that we will need. So there are two types of data that Gephi needs. It needs to know who are the people who are sending each other money, and then how much money are they sending each other. So here we already have, who is sending each other what amounts of money. So I'm just gonna call this, links, because it's the links between the nodes in the network who is sending each other how much money. We just need to rename the columns a little bit. So instead of from and to, we're going to say source and target, just because that's what Gephi needs. Instead of quantity, we're going to say weight. So for example, if you send someone else more money, then you have a higher weight. You can kind of understand, more money sent, higher weights. Yeah, okay, I kind of get it. One last thing is just click on this C thing, the last column, right click and insert one column left. We just need to specify one thing. So just in the top row here, put in type. We just need to say the type is directed with a capital D. What that just means is that the money is being sent in one direction, the source is sending to the target. So you're not, it's not like the link it doesn't have two directions, it just has one direction. So I'm just gonna double click here. You see when I click on this cell, then I have like this little pixel on the bottom right. I can double click that and it will, copy down directed for all the transactions, which is good because they're all, directed. Money is going from one person to the other. And then I'm just going to download this. So I'm going to go on File, Download, and download it as a CSV. So those are all of the links in the network. I'll just go over here and I'm going to rename to links. Again, these are the connections between the different people. But who are the different people? So this is where Gephi needs to know the nodes in the network. Who are the different people? Now here, I just need two things. I need the ID with a lowercase d, and I need the name of the person. Now in a normal setting, you'd have both the ID and the names, but this is a cryptocurrency. You're not allowed to know, who's the real owner of which account. So you don't have the names. You only have the IDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift and down to select all of the columns in this row. Then I'm going to press Control C to copy, and I'm going to paste all of these in. And here I'm going to press Control down to just get to the end. And I'm going to add, let's say 1,000 more rows at the bottom. Press Control up. So just get to, the last entry, the last person here. I'm also going to copy, all of these people receiving the money. So all of these target values too. Again, Control Shift down to select them all. Control C to copy them. And then I'm going to paste them again, Control V. All right, so we have all of these people who, sent each other money. As you can see, there are a lot of, similarities. So you see like the 0x0000 like so many times. It appears again and again. So what we want to do is we want to remove the duplicates. So we're just left with, who are the people? I don't need to count them twice just because they sent money to some person, more than once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift down arrow. I'm going to data cleanup, and remove duplicates. And you can just press OK. So you can see 9,700 of those people were just like, duplicates. They were there multiple times. We only needed 295. So there we are. We are now ready. I'm just gonna press Control Shift down, and I'm going to just use these, numbers for the names as well. So I just copy it and paste it. The reason is I don't have their real names. I can't say this is Bob Smith because I don't know who it actually is. So I'm just gonna, use their IDs as their names. Anyways, we are now done with the data. So I'm gonna again download this as not as a Excel file, download it as a CSV file. And let me just quickly go and rename that. I don't want to, is this a CSV file? Nope, I only want this one. I'm gonna call it nodes. Oops, don't do that. Nodes. Here we are. So we have the data ready. Now we get to the exciting part. So we downloaded Gephi, we got the data from etherscan.io, we got it in the format that Gephi wants. What are the nodes of the network? Who are the people involved? And what are the links between them? Who's sending each other what money? And now we can actually open up this data. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back to Gephi. When you open up Gephi, you can just maximize the window, click on New Projects. When you've opened up a new project, you want to import in the data, so go to File in the top left, and then Import Spreadsheets. And this is going to import where the data is. So, wherever on your computer the data is, for me it's in Downloads. Let's see. I'm going to go over and I'm going to click on nodes.csv. It's going to say it's a nodes table. Don't worry, it's just wondering, are these the people in the network? I'm going to click next, and I'm just going to click finish. At the end here, just click append existing workspace. So you can see here it's got 295 nodes. That's the number of people sending each other money in this type of cryptocurrency. So I'm just going to click on that. And I'm going to do the same thing. So File, Import Spreadsheets, and then this time for the links, what are the transactions between these people? It's going to call it an edges table, doesn't matter. So we're just going to click next, finish, and again, append to existing workspace. It's going to give you an error. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Now I'm going to click refresh, and you can see we have the network. It just doesn't look very great. So it's there. It doesn't look great, but it's there. Now, what we're going to do is right now, you see I'm in the preview tab. Make sure you're in the overview tab. All right, so here's the network. The first thing we want to do is get the network in the right shape. So you're going to go over to the layout panel in the left. It's going to be under window, and then you can click layout if you don't see it, but it should be in the left. Click choose layout, and then force atlas, and then just click run. So as you can see, it's rearranging everything. It's rearranging all of the nodes. And right now, they're a little bit too close together for us to be able to see them properly. So what you want to do is increase the repulsion strength. You'll see here, there's a property. So I'm going to go from 200 to say 1000. I'm going to run again. Node spread out more. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Let's go to 5000. I want it to be a little bit more spread out. I run again. And here you go. So this looks pretty good. I have this network now. You can see it's like circular shapes. You have this one node in the middle that is connected to basically every other node. And then around that, you have these other nodes that, they have little connections to each other, but not really. There aren't many people who then go and transact and send other people money. They're just all taking money from this one central source. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, I am using my scroll wheel, or I'm just, on the trackpad using 2 fingers up and down to scroll in and out. And then I can right click either on my trackpad or on my mouse to move around. So already this looks okay. You might find, by the way, when you click Run Atlas, it's going to keep on running forever if you don't stop it. So you need to, actually press stop when you're satisfied with the way that the graph looks. Adjust the repulsion strength if you need to. So now we have the basic shape of the graph. What we want to do is we want to get some properties. We want to maybe color code a few things. We want to figure out, are there any communities in this network so that we can say, these groups of people, they tend to often send money to each other. Now to do that, you see over here, at least I hope you see over here, I have this panel called statistics. It should be at the very right. If you don't see it, maybe you're clicked into filters. You want to click into statistics, and if you don't see it at all, window, and then statistics. So when you click on this, you'll see a bunch of different properties. These are like mathematical properties of networks. You want to click on the run button besides these so that you can figure out a few things. Now, the most important thing to figure out is you want to click on modularity and run that. So have some settings, just leave it, click on it. Don't worry about what it says. And you are done over here. Also, click on average degree, run that. Again, don't worry about it, close it. And over in the node overview section, then eigenvector centrality. That just rolls right off the tip of the tongue. So run that, leave it as it is, and close whatever window pops up. All right, now that we have these math thingies out of the way, we're able to now go and find the communities in the networks. So who is sending money to each other? You will be using the Appearance tab to do this. Again, Window and Appearance. If you don't see it, right here. When you go to the Appearance panel, the first thing we want to do is we want to color code the different communities. So click on Nodes, click on Partition, and click on Choose an Attribute. Now here, you want to click on Modularity Class as the attribute, and then press Apply. So what you can see here is what it's done is it's color coded the different groups of people in the network. You have some groups in green, you have this central group in pink, you have some groups over here in blue, and so on. So it's characterized the different groups, categorized the different groups. If you want, you can change any of these colors that you don't like. So I don't like this black. I'm gonna change it to like a red, and then click apply to see your changes. And I'm going to leave the rest. So the rest are fine. I wonder why it's still in black. Oh well. So the partition thing just means, partition, separate. So it's separated the graph in terms of different classes, which is exactly what we want. So that's fine. I also want to scale different nodes, make them bigger and smaller based on how important they are. So for example, how many other nodes that they connect to, how many other people they have sent money to. So over here, you're going to see this little icon that looks like, a bunch of circles. If you hover over it, it says size. So you want to click on it, click ranking, again, make sure in nodes, and then choose an attribute. You want to choose eigenvector centrality. Set the min size to like 10 and then the max size to 50 and then click apply. And you'll see this one node in the middle that was connected to like a bunch of other nodes, it got a lot bigger. Whereas all of the other nodes, they stayed smaller. So that makes sense because this node kind of sends money to everyone else in the network. So I guess it makes sense that it's bigger. Now you're basically done what you need to be in terms of like the basic structure of the graph. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to preview to generate an image of the graph. So when you go over to preview, just click refresh and you'll see, something shows up. Don't worry too much about what the something is, click over here. You have presets, defaults. Click to black background, just because I like a black background, don't you? I think this looks pretty nice. You can click on reset zoom, and there is your network. So yours will look different, mine looks different. When you're satisfied with the way it looks, there's a bunch of things you can mess around with, but this is good enough. I'm going to click on export at the bottom left here, SVG, PDF, PNG, and then I can save it. So let's say I wanted a PNG, I'm going to say temp.png, I'm going to save it in my downloads. And if I go over to my downloads now, you can see I have it open. Yay! We have a network generated. It looks like a little bit weird, like a little bit of an eye going on. I'm sure you have your own artistic creation. So anyways, that was how we use Gephi to visualize blockchain transactions from etherscan.io. I hope you have like a fun time messing around with different graphs and creations with that now.